of my identity. And I want to talk a little bit more about sports and just my takes in general, because that's what everyone's talking about. So NFL season just started. I'm Jammin Fitness LA, but I'm originally from the East Coast. So most of my favorite teams are East Coast teams. I got a couple of West Coast adopted teams, and then I like to mix it up, year in, year out, some trends. So I like some teams and out, but I've got my rivals that I don't like. I got my favorite teams. So, not totally all over the place, but week 1, 2025, great week 1. I thought most of the games were really, really good. So, like Cowboys, Eagles. So I'm a Giants fan, so I really don't like the Commanders, the Eagles, and the Cowboys. Week 1, Giants lost to the Commanders, and I would have started Jackson Dart at halftime. I thought we saw enough from Russell Wilson. We've seen enough from him in the Broncos, the Steelers, on the way out of the Seahawks. So to continue to give this man a chance, I just don't think people are looking at what is right in front of us. I understand there's a lot of controversy about the Giants stinking, the organization, the offensive line. That stop giving these guys at quarterback too much of an excuse. When you're a good quarterback, you understand how to play football, even if the offensive line is not great. There are ways of being methodical and running an offense with a not so great offensive line. But the Giants we've been saying that the Giants offensive line has been trash for many, many years now. So that's just not a good enough excuse anymore. When you've been saying the same thing for 5+ years in a row, it's not just that. And then last year when Daniel Jones was the quarterback and we had other guys come in, they had success in their own right. So the Giants continue to put the wrong person at quarterback. I would have definitely started Russell Wilson in the season opener. And if he was playing well and was showing signs of being good, then I would keep rocking with him for as long as possible, even if we're losing. But I just don't think that you need that much more time to see that Russell Wilson is just not in his prime anymore. And he's not even going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback. He's going to be short of the Hall of Fame. He had his opportunity when he went to the Broncos. He had his opportunity when he went to the Steelers. He has his opportunity with the Giants, but he's just not showing it. There's plenty of talent on the Giants. I'm sorry. I know I am very critical about the administration, the people in charge. But at this point, it's not them. It's the quarterback right now. It's not like, I hate Russell Wilson. I don't. Like, if he starts again, I guess that's fine. But it just shows that the Giants are not looking to be very competitive this year, which is just a shame because we shouldn't be throwing out any year ever. We're always trying to be competitive. So I think I've already seen enough of Russell Wilson. I'd start Jackson Dart. I guess our left tackle is hurt. So maybe that's one thing we can maybe, when the left tackle comes back, start our new quarterback. But otherwise, I've seen enough of Russell Wilson already. I don't think he's going to change that much. So Jackson Dart's the future. I think he's great. I would have taken probably, if I was like picking the players for the Giants in that particular draft, I probably would have taken Shedeur Sanders. I'm happy we didn't. Not because I don't think he's going to be good. I think he will be good. But I'm really impressed, and I really like what Jackson Dart's done in the preseason. His energy, the whole energy in the organization feels better. But I am disappointed with week 1 and how the Giants started. I wish we had made that change at halftime because I just don't think Russell Wilson's that dude anymore. The Daniel Jones is on Indianapolis Colts. He did much better in week 1 than I expected, but I'm taking wagers with anybody if you want to bet that I'm saying that he's bottom half quarterback by the end of the season. Might be still starting, but bottom half quarterback. I know what I saw with the Giants. He's not very good. He's not like terrible. Like he should be in the NFL. He's a big athletic guy, but he's just not that great at being a starting quarterback. So you Indianapolis Colts fans, you will see that in the future. But he had a good week 1. But the Colts team is good. The defense is good. The skill guys is good. The offensive line is good. They have good coaching. They're consistent. They got a good program over there. It's also a smaller city, fits the Blue Devils colors. So I don't know. There's a lot of factors over there. I am betting that Daniel Jones is not top 15 by the end of the year. Let's see how many people have Daniel Jones on their fantasy teams. That's who's going to really show if he's a believer. Fantasy does not mean winning quarterback play, but I mean, Daniel Jones is not proven to be a winner, and he's not a stats stuffer either. So what's it going to be? He's either going to win a lot of games, or he's going to put up a lot of stats, or I guess both. I'm betting that the Colts in the end will be right around 500 or worse, and Daniel Jones bottom 15 quarterback. Anyone wants to say otherwise, let me know. But I am so sick of defending Tua. I have been a believer in him for a long time. I still am, but I can't go out and keep defending this dude anymore. Like, he has signs of him being really, really good, and then he has signs of being like horrible. I just don't really understand what's good with that. It's a very weird situation. The dude has had some incredible highlights, and he's done some incredible things in his whole football career. So I just don't understand the inconsistencies there at the NFL level. He's playing well, then he gets hurt. He's playing well, then he just plays bad. Like he just a weird career. I've defended Tua for a long time because I got people saying that he sucks. At this point, dude, like I just can't defend him anymore. So I still don't think he sucks. But week 1 versus the Colts, just getting absolutely shit on. I just don't really understand what really happened there. Like I thought it would at least be a close game. Like Tua is a better thrower and a better overall quarterback than Daniel Jones. So it's just weird that they were almost about to get shut out. I just don't really understand that. The Cowboys, Eagles in week 1, that was also a really good game. But I just think that the Cowboys are just such scrubs. That organization is such scrubs. Jerry Jones is such a scrub. Letting Micah Parsons walk out that door was such scrub business tactics. Like they did not need to wait until his contract is going to be up to re-sign this man. They should have re-signed him years ago. And I just don't understand what the point of trading him was, to get assets back. Like you did get a D tackle back. They traded a DN. That's slightly different. You got some future first round picks. But the whole point in drafting and putting rosters together is to keep the guys you like. Micah Parsons is one of the best players in the entire NFL. Like, why would you not have just signed him a couple of years ago? Everyone's happy at this point, but you just traded away your best player before the season starts. The Packers upgraded, the Cowboys downgraded. Even though I wasn't happy with Russell Wilson in week 1, I mean, I'm taking Giants in week 2 versus the Cowboys. I know Cowboys and Eagles usually beat up on the Giants, but I just downplayed Russell Wilson, but goddamn, this is an opportunity for Russell Wilson to make me eat my fucking words. Make me eat my words, please. I don't want to be right in this situation. So let's have the Giants beat the Cowboys in week 2. I am with Micah Parsons. I thought the Cowboys were good. Without him, they're just like a regular team. They're gonna not do anything that special. 500, maybe a game or two above or below, whatever. Maybe make the playoffs, but definitely no noise in the playoffs per usual. Cowboys, big waste of time. Chiefs-Chargers game was a pretty good game. Pretty sure the Chargers kind of dominated the whole thing, but the Chiefs made it close. Which is great. It was in Brazil. A lot of energy over there. I thought that was cool. I think the expansion of NFL, I think is fine. I think it's cool. I got Justin Herbert on my fantasy teams, so he came in clutch. I mean, I'm bullish on the Chargers, no doubt, but my LA team is the Rams. So I moved here the same year as the Rams, so that's my squad. But I don't hate the Chargers. Like, I'm not gonna root for the Chargers, but I do have Justin Herbert on my fantasy team. And the Chiefs are the Chiefs. So even though they lost week 1, even though they're not really blowing teams out anymore, I mean, they're still probably going to run it all the way to the playoffs, make it to the AFC Championship, make it Super Bowl. So there's nothing really to say about the Chiefs. I don't hate them. I actually do like the Chiefs. I try not to be a hater of greatness. I think people who are just hating teams just because they're great, I think is a bad take. So I try not to be a hater. So Chiefs are good. I like the Chiefs. There's nothing wrong with the Chiefs. I got Travis Kelce on my team too. Hope he has a good year. Chiefs probably going AFC Championship, Super Bowl. Chargers, they're a good team. I think they're probably maybe a better team than the Chiefs this year too. I would if take away the laughing stock that the Chargers are, take away the reputation, the blowing games, all these things. I think pound for pound, roster, everything, like they're a better team. I think Justin Herbert's very underrated. I'm not out here saying he's better than Patrick Mahomes, but statistically he might be sometimes. But in the end, it comes down to wins, losses, how do you lead your team? It's not always about the stats, like I said earlier. So it's not always about the stats. I take Patrick Mahomes as my quarterback, but I'm very bullish on Justin Herbert. Going into this season, I thought the Steelers can be very dangerous with Aaron Rodgers. That's exactly what they proved. I was impressed with what I saw from the Steelers. I was also very impressed with what I saw with Justin Fields. Going into the NFL, I thought he'd be a good quarterback. I think his journey's been up and down. As of recently, I thought he would be a bust. But I was very, very impressed with how he played, even though they lost versus the Steelers. So I think there's some hope for the Jets fans and Justin Fields, no doubt. Panthers, Jaguars. I mean, I think Bryce Young showed great improvement last year, but again, lost to the Jaguars. I'm not really bullish on either Trevor Lawrence or Bryce Young. Bryce Young had a good finish to the end of the year, but now we're in a new year. 10 points, dude. What's up with that? I'm not even looking at the statistics. So yeah, and then Trevor Lawrence, I think, is incredibly overrated. Like, he needs to be good this year. He's already been paid, but I personally, if I was the GM of the Jaguars, like, I don't know if I would have necessarily given him a max contract based on what I saw. So, like, people ask me, like, what would you do? Like, what would you do? If I was in charge and I was the GM, every player that I like, we assign a price tag to it based on all of the talent in the league. We're not giving guys based on what the market rate is necessarily. So, for example, the quarterback market is outrageous, and pretty much everyone who's re-signing who's a starting quarterback gets like the top newest contract. And that's exactly what happened with Trevor Lawrence. But there's a chance I would have just let him walk. Would I let Trevor Lawrence sign for max dollars and then eat up my cap space for just mediocre play? So we got him as a rookie, and he was okay. Do I want Trevor Lawrence on my team? Sure, no doubt. Am I willing to eat up a huge percentage of my cap for Trevor Lawrence? No. So what I would do, this is what agents are for. It's not like I'm having this conversation face-to-face with Trevor Lawrence. That's what email is for. That's what phone calls. There's plenty of ways for you to make your point in your statement without being too insulting or whatever. So what do I mean by that? So we drafted Trevor Lawrence. He has, in my opinion, underachieved. So now he's getting a contract extension. So he got like a max contract extension. I would not have done that. What I would have done is I would have approached the agent and be like, we like Trevor Lawrence. We would definitely want him to be on our team, but we're not paying max dollar. We're gonna pay this rate. So then they're gonna counter and say, okay, no. and then we're going to test the market. So at that point, we let them test the market, let them see what other options are there. So then they get a new offer, and then let's see what the offer is. Then if we like him, maybe we match it or slightly above. But don't just give them the max contract if they're not that good. So the difference between Micah Parsons and Trevor Lawrence is I am willing to have Micah Parsons eat away my cap space because he's literally so phenomenal. And then Trevor Lawrence is not. And you could sign to guys, and there's ways of trading and getting rid of contracts. You are not necessarily only stuck with the contract just because you sign them. So sure, you can do Trevor Lawrence, sign them, and then trade him. But if he's not good, how are you going to trade him with such a bad contract? And if he is really good, you're not going to trade him. So with Micah Parsons, one of the issues was, I guess he's really expensive, but they had enough cap space to sign him this year. So I would have signed him this year, right? Because I don't want to downgrade at the position a week before. See how the year goes. And then at the end of the year, if you have another vision for the team, chemistry is not good, whatever the situation, negative situation is, then trade him. Figure it out. But to let him go like the moment before the week starts was bad. I definitely signed Micah Parsons long-term. Trevor Lawrence, I would too, but not for our max contract. So then he gets that offer. I let him walk. And then I go back to the drawing board and we either sign a reasonably priced free agent or we go back to drafting. But if you're really good in your scouting department and you're really good at organizing the rest of the team, then it's not end all be all if Trevor Lawrence was to leave. There are free agents who are available to sign, who you can sign at a better deal, and then you can reallocate those funds to better players or get ready for the next season's cap. You don't have to always spend every single penny and dollar. I am a believer that you don't need to necessarily have a top tier quarterback to have a good football team. You could have a good game manager, someone who avoids turning the ball over, good decision making, safe with the rock, but efficient and is able to move the ball down the field, convert on third downs, have efficient plays. So yeah, I would have let Trevor Lawrence walk after he got a better deal that I wasn't willing to match. And then I got a good scouting department, and we're looking at free agents and drafting players. And I'm not going on this carousel necessarily all the time, but we drafted Trevor Lawrence. We had multiple years. Now it's time to re-sign him. I don't think he's worth max dollars. So that's what I would do. I'd be I guess it's easier said than done, but I'd be a much harder negotiator on my contracts. I would be focusing on keeping the guys who I like, not overpaying them, and just keeping it real. And if I like a guy I think too many teams, too many GMs let guys that they like walk away too easily because they're afraid of how much they cost, which just doesn't make sense to me. Like, to a degree it does, but after the conversation. So much turnover on professional sports teams, and I think that this is a mistake. Just because they're professionals and they're like at the pro level doesn't mean they know everything. We know plenty of people, bosses, owners, who get fired and suck at their jobs all the time. It's not always about what you know, it's about who you know. I'm not out here saying I know everything more than these guys. I'm not. But I am also a personal trainer with a lot of success. I'm self-employed. I'm an entrepreneur who's done pretty well for himself. And I think I'm a pretty decent decision maker, evaluator, talent, good business person. So if I like a guy on my team and his contract's up, do not just let him leave, especially if you had positive results. Don't just assume who you guys replace is going to do better. How this goes is don't just let guys leave. Have a conversation with their agents and tell them, we want to keep you on the team, and work on keeping them on the team. Tell them what you think the price is, because at this point, you've done your research on other players, because you don't need the best player at the position for a good team. You need good chemistry. You need a good fit. You need good timing. So you can be successful at the corner, quarterback, any position, even if they're not top player, 15, 20, whatever, but it's how much you pay them and then the chemistry in the team and what they actually show. There's plenty of situations where people are overpaid, not delivering, or they're underpaid, over delivering. So again, if we like a guy on our team who's playing well and his contract's up, you just keep it real with the agent, not the player, because of course you're not going to be like to the player's face, no, you're not worth this. No, that's like insulting, right? We want good chemistry. So because the agent also isn't supposed to just go and just like, make their client feel like shit either. So we're having an A/B conversation, GM agent. We are clear that we want to keep this player. We set a price tag. Agent says, all right, fuck off, right? It's not enough, which is fine. So then they go and test the market. Let the market dictate that. And if in the GM's mind, the market has dictated a price that's too much, then we let the player walk. So of course, if there is just what we cannot meet in the middle on price, then that is a very appropriate reason to part ways. But I don't think a lot of times the proper conversation's being done. Like, I just don't think the conversation is proper here. Like, too many guys just being like, most money, little amount of money, not enough people, just there too much ego is in the way, and people just don't accept what the actual value is. So if they get a better price and I'm not willing to match it, then we let them walk. But we try to keep as many people in the team as possible that we like and make a difference. Another thing that I think is very under thought about is when you have a bunch of disgruntled players leave your team, that's going to come back around at some point when you play them. So you got all this animosity and you got people being like, oh, I want to own this team because I used to play on this. That's normal. That's going to happen. But we want to try and reduce that as much as we can, because that's part of winning and losing games. Some people get up and hyped up more for a certain game versus others because that's their former team or whatever. We can avoid this by treating players better and not treating them like straight up objects. We also can create loyalty within the brand. So even though this is pro sports, there's a lot of youth sport application that should be involved. Chemistry building, loyalty, hard work. You can create loyalty within an organization by treating the players with respect and re-signing the guys who you like. Don't just, contract expire, just pick up someone new and cheap. Let's keep who we like. And I don't think enough teams actually do that because the turnover percentages is just so high. So I don't believe that they are applying this because turnover is just so high on rosters. But when you've got really good players, you want to keep that chemistry going. Buccaneers, Falcons. This game really interested me because I'm really into Baker Mayfield, but I'm also really into Michael Penix Jr. Very bullish on Michael Penix Jr. But what a great game, that comeback by Baker Mayfield. The guy is a straight up pro, been ups and downs. I've had my times of saying bad things, but overall said mostly good things about Baker Mayfield. And I'm so happy for him that he's having this success. I just think it's cool. He's also not a freak of nature physically, so it's great for the little guy to just be high IQ playing well. I think that's a win for everybody. Yeah, I mean, all these games are really good. Like Raiders, Patriots, I don't think the Raiders will be very good, even though I actually do like Geno Smith. I think he's a really good quarterback. If he can continue to just keep getting better, then the Raiders might be good. I am bearish on Drake May. Bengals, I mean, I guess I'm bullish, but who knows? The Bengals are just very bipolar. I like Joe Burrow, but I don't really know. I don't really have like a take on the Bengals. They're too like up in the air. The Browns, I mean, I think they're getting closer. I actually thought it was fine that they drafted their 2 quarterbacks. They've had so many issues at quarterback for such a long time that I think it was a smart thing to do to get a bunch of quarterback talent and just pick who the best one is. So they started Joe Flacco. They got the 2 younger guys, and then of the 2 younger guys, like, who's up? And it should be clear cut and obvious. Worst case scenario is that Dylan Gabriel and Shadur Sanders are like neck and neck, and it's like a tough decision. That's going to make things tough. But hopefully there's a clear cut winner there. Cam Ward, Tennessee Titans, Denver Broncos. I don't really have too much to say about Cam Ward. I didn't really watch him in college, but he looked pretty good week 1. So trending up. I'm a big fan of Bo Nix. Week 1, he was not good, but I'm confident he will step up. 49ers, Seahawks. Don't really have much to say about that game. Packers, Lions. I mean, I think the Lions had to deal with a really good Packers team. They literally just upgraded at DN. Now they've got a bunch of really good guys on defense. Lions are really good, but I'm pretty sure, like, is Ben Johnson, I think, is that the name, the coach who left for the Bears? I mean, that's the offensive coordinator. I mean, the Lions were really, really good on offense last year. So their offensive coordinator leaving, I think, can be problematic. They lost to the Packers. I think the Lions are still going to be one of the best, a really good team. Lions, Packers, both really good teams. Jordan Love's a crazy story because I used to think he was trash. I think that when he was drafted with Aaron Rodgers, so the quarterback, I thought that was not a good move. But he has really improved. He's really progressed over the years. Not last year, but 2 years ago. I was really impressed with that second half of the year. That changed my opinion of him. I wouldn't necessarily take him if I had all the quarterback selection in the world, but I think the Packers are a really good team, and I think Jordan Love has really become into being a good player. Texans and Rams. Let's go Rams, baby. LA Rams, let's go. That's the squad. I'm a fan of Matthew Stafford. And I just think this team is nice. So I think that's good. CJ Stroud is totally falling off the cliff. Last year, I drafted him in my 2 QB league. He absolutely killed me. And, I mean, this week, I think he was not very good too. 19 of 27, 188 yards, 1 interception. That is horrible. Horrible. I mean, last year, he was pretty cheeks. So this trend is continuing. That being said, I think the Rams are good. So let's see how week 2 is. Ravens, Bills, that game was crazy. Vikings, Bears was crazy too. Like, if FanDuel was legal in California, I definitely would have bet on the Ravens choking that game at halftime or like in the third quarter versus the Bills for sure, because the Ravens continuously choke. I'm a huge Lamar Jackson fan. I'm a huge Ravens fan, but goddamn, they choke, dude. It's like in their DNA. It's a problem. Unless they have a huge moment, they might be cursed, because this aura of blowing games is going to linger until they shake it off permanently, which they have not done. And then their playoff yips, until they break through and get to the big game and like win, they might be cursed too. So they got the choke curse, and then they got the yips curse in the playoffs. So the Ravens are kind of in a bad situation when it comes to the future, when it comes to aura, because they're a fantastic football team. That style of team is one of the hardest teams to play against. Physical, ground and pound, quarterback can throw, quarterback can run, well coached, but I do not understand how they continue to blow games in the fashion that they do. It's pretty legendary. And then Vikings Bears, that game was crazy too, because going into the season, I was really bullish on the Bears. They started the game pretty good. I was not bullish on the Vikings this year. I thought it was crazy they let Sam Darnold go without seeing any reps from J.J. McCarthy. I thought that was a huge risk. Sam Darnold played really, really well last year. And at the beginning of that game, J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings did not look good. And I know it's quick to judge, but it looked like he wasn't even going to be able to warm up. He looked like he was just lost. But damn, like that script got flipped really quickly. And I'm not out here saying J.J. McCarthy is going to be a stud. But before he hurt his knee last year, going into last year's season, I was bullish on J.J. McCarthy. He just won the national championship at Michigan. People were downplaying him and his statistics and his play, but I think if you're a quarterback winning national championship in college football, that's definitely going to give you points in thinking you're going to be good. I think that is that doesn't always translate, but I think being a winning quarterback at the D1 football level and winning a national championship matters. So he came into the year last year, and I thought he would be a great leader. Then he got hurt. And then I thought maybe like that rust would kick in. And I don't know if he ever comes back. Who knows if that swag comes back? But it seems like that this dude, J.J. McCarthy's got some swagger. And maybe that's why the Sam Darnold got let go. They didn't mind getting rid of him. Because even though they didn't see J.J. McCarthy play, the dude's got an energy to him. He's got a leadership qualities to him. Guy's got swagger. So I don't know if he's going to be dropping crazy statistics, but guy proved he was a winner last night. Took some balls to win that game. And then the Bears, I'm not bearish on the Bears right now, but damn, that loss was fucking brutal. And just stalling out on offense the way that they did, I thought was very bad. So that's my take on week 1. And then I will go and make my picks for week 2. All money line. I got no spreads with me right now. So Commanders, Packers, we're going to go Packers. Giants, Cowboys, we're going Giants. Rams, Titans, we're going Rams. Seahawks, Steelers, we're going Steelers. Bills, Jets, I mean, that's actually a tough one, but we're going to go Bills. Patriots, Dolphins, I mean, 2 not so great teams. If Tua does not embarrass himself and does not embarrass me in supporting him, Dolphins should win by multiple scores. Jaguars, Bengals, another game of 2 just incredibly bipolar teams and players. I'm going to give Joe Burrow the benefit of the doubt here. They win, and they actually have a good start this year. Niners, Saints, the Saints just aren't good. Did they win week 1? They lost, but they played better. Kellen Moore is their quarterback. He's probably a future great is their coach. Kellen Moore is their coach. I forgot who they drafted at quarterback, but horrible draft pick by the Saints. They should have taken Shedeur Sanders. I mean, the fact that he got pushed back so deep into the draft, and then Shedeur Sanders was there for the Saints to take, and they took someone who's just buns. Makes no sense to me. Browns and Ravens. I mean, Ravens literally have to win this game. So Ravens, Bears and Lions. Lions lost week 1. Bears lost week 1. Who needs it more? Lions. We're taking Lions. Panthers, Cardinals. I said Bryce Young just doesn't have it. So Cardinals. Broncos, Colts. Broncos in week 1. What was it? Week 1. Where is that? Oh, Titans. They won versus the Titans. And then Colts. We're taking Broncos. Daniel Jones reverts back to the norm. Eagles, Chiefs. Chiefs lost week 1. I mean, I'm going Eagles. I'm going Chiefs going 0-2 to start. Falcons, Vikings. Falcons for sure. Chargers, Raiders. Chargers. And then Bucks, Texans, Bucks. That is week 1 recap. Those are my week 2 picks. See you next week.